Milwaukee River divides downtown as we flow to Miller Park. Bernie Brewer's home run playground so far. He's been asleep, a good thing. It's Game 3 of the series, Padres and Brewers. Milwaukee's six-time All-Star Ryan Braun. He's been on base all 4 times last night, 3 for 5 in the series. Always tough out for Padre pitching. .313 his career hitting against San Diego. The roof is open. Miller Park here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're set for action tonight with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Pleased that you're with us. The Padres on this road trip are 5-3, and they're facing a tough young pitcher tonight. We'll talk more about him, but first let's go to Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, Ian Kennedy gets the ball tonight for his 20th start. Andrew Kasher pitched well last night. He kept them close. Hopefully Ian Kennedy gets some support and keep them close as well. And when you look at the last 3 times out for Ian, he's gotten some good numbers. 2-0 record, the ERA a stellar 2.37, but the the opponent's batting average at 233. Why? I think Ian Kennedy should not underestimate the fastball. He can go up the ladder. He's a fly ball pitcher, and then when he's got the good feel of the breaking ball, he can drop that. The big key is getting ahead with that fastball. Then he can do one of 2 things: go up the ladder for the strikeout, or go with the off-speed stuff, the breaking ball or the changeup. He's got to get ahead with strike 1, though. That's a big key for Ian Kennedy.
And the Padres have to beat a tough rookie, Taylor Youngman. His ERA is 2.23. The Brewers think he's going to be a big-time star. So Kennedy and Youngman, the story last night, a big play. Melvin Upton in center field, nailing a runner at home plate. That is a huge out. A full analysis of that action from Mark Sweeney when we return. Brought to you by Petco. What we feed them matters. By Sony's Action Cam. Prove yourself. And by SeaWorld. Discover the wonder of the sea. Another beautiful day here in Wisconsin. 67 degrees at game time. It'll fall down near the high 50s before game ends. And it's time now for our Saquon Pick the Stick. Fans, you can decide who you're with by tweeting out hashtag I'm with. Last name of the broadcaster you think has the best pick tonight. If you're right, you could win a free foursome of golf at the Saquon Golf Resort. There are the picks tonight. Chris Budden with Venable is still in the lead, barely ahead of Mark Grant, who likes Alonso. And time now for the Padres lineup. It's brought to you by Toyota. And reads this way, Amarista leading it off with Solarte second. The good news after Matt Kemp is that Justin Upton, who sat out with a sore thumb last night, is in the starting lineup tonight. Followed by Yonder Alonso, Jed Jerko, Will Venable bats seventh. Then young Austin Hedges behind the plate, handling the tosses of Ian Kennedy. On the mound, Taylor Youngman, 25-year-old former Texas star.
Well, they are expecting big things from this youngster. Fastball, curveball, changeup. He throws about 92, but he's a ground ball pitcher. He throws a lot of four-seamers. Throws across his body. A little deception is thrown in there as well. But he's a good one for the Brewers. They like him, and big plans for him not only at the end of this year, but next year as well for Taylor Youngman.
Among his 5 wins, a complete game victory over the Dodgers, allowing only 1 run and 3 hits. Well, the Brewers defense behind him is brought to you by Renovation Realty. Same lineup as last night with Davis in left, Braun in right, Peterson in center field. Around the horn, Perez, actually he's a change from last night. Herrera was there. Then Segura, Jeanette, and Lynn with Lucroy behind the plate. Well, Lexi Amarista, after fighting through a 0 for 24 slump, last 3 games, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. Had 2 hits last night, the only Padre with more than 1. And we're underway. There's the first fastball at 92. Vic Carapazza calling the balls and strikes tonight with Hamari, Knight, and Vanover on the bases. 93 strike. Padres won the opener of this 4-game series 13-5, and then failed to score an earned run last night as Milwaukee prevailed 4-1. And isn't that a microcosm of this season? One night you just bombs away 13 runs, 13 hits. The next night you can't score an earned run. And that's been very puzzling to all as Padres lead the National League in being shut out. That one lifted foul territory and will be out of play.
Yeah, last night when you look at the way Jimmy Nelson was throwing the baseball, he was hitting the corners, he was going up in the zone. Later in the game he hit some pitches up in the zone that the Padres could have maybe taken advantage of, but he pretty much shut him down. Only 6 hits, 1 run.
And that was unearned. Without the aid of a base hit, the Padres scored the run. Line drive, base hit. Amarista gets the Padres off on the right foot with a solid single to left field. So of late, the Padre hitters have certainly gotten the job done the last week. The offense hitting .364 against righties. Solarte leading the way last 7 days, .480 batting average, 5th best in the major leagues. He has a 10-game hitting streak. And Matt Kemp has struck out only once in the last 31 plate appearances.
And that is so important as we look at this game right now with Amarista. You get Solarte and Kemp on base, and then you got Upton to drive him in. Hopefully that's the plan this evening.
10-game streak for Jan Solarte, and fouls it back. 15 hits and 33 trips in this 10-game streak.
He's seeing the ball extremely well out of the pitcher's hand. He's taking healthy cuts. And the main thing for me, he's crushing mistakes.
Couple of home runs in game 1 of the series. Youngman, high school, 2 different Texas high schools, Rogers High School until a senior, then Georgetown, Texas, and an all-star at the University of Texas. Off speed and outside.
Well, it looked like a changeup at 83. And one thing I just picked up, and hitters can pick this up, he really slowed up his mechanics there, and especially his arm. His arm speed kind of slowed down a little bit.
So you're saying you could use that as a tip?
Absolutely. Mark Sweeney talks about that quite a bit.
In the dirt, 2-1.
So back-to-back changeups to Solarte.
Youngman received one of the top collegiate baseball awards while at the University of Texas, the Dick Hauser Award as the #1 collegiate player. Two balls and a strike.
Oh.
And Marisa almost leaving the bag.
That's why even as a first baseman, I think that throw over from the pitcher, keep that glove on the runner. Fastball in.
And Marista only 4 steals. 2-2. A lot of run to that fastball.
Yeah, he throws a 4-seam fastball. Occasionally he'll throw a 2-seam fastball. That is Youngman. And he kind of throws across his body and goes from the third base side of that rubber. And he even was quoted as saying in an article, he gets some cut to that 4-seam fastball down and into the lefty. It looked like that last pitch there.
Made his debut as a big leaguer, Youngman, just 2 months ago, June 9th, and came away with a 4-1 win.
Looks like he's going to try to backdoor slider here.
And it's driven deep but foul down the right field line.
Looked like a curveball, actually, a curveball out of the hand of Youngman.
Yeah, his breaking ball more curves than sliders.
Mm-hmm.
No home runs. Not many fly balls for that matter.
Yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher.
Only 2 home runs all season.
He's 6'6". He gets good downward plane, works down in the zone.
Runner goes, and the ball's popped up. Amarista has to head back as the ball goes out of play. Well, the Padres play a little run and hit.
Yeah, big frame, Youngman. So if he uses that high leg kick, big arm swing, runners at first. If you get a jump, take it. Go.
And the count full. Well, the Padres are 5-3 so far on the trip, taking 2 out of 3 in New York, 2 out of 3 against the Marlins in Miami, and they've split the first 2 of the 4-game series against Milwaukee. Try to come home with a winning record on a arduous road trip.
Boy, 7-3 would be some kind of nice, wouldn't it?
That would be excellent.
Going 3-1 here in Milwaukee after last night's defeat. Take the last 2.
See if Amarista's going 3-2. He is. And a ground ball right through the hole and into right field. Amarista can scoot to third base. And Solarte's hitting streak grows to 11 consecutive games. Ball hit hard enough the second baseman Jeanette couldn't get to it.
Yep, excellent. Right out of his reach. Pulled that ball through the hole. And a fastball count 3-2. And you can bank on Youngman is going to try to throw a strike. So a good way to put him in motion. Stay out of the double play if it's hit right at one of those infielders. Everybody's moving. And more importantly, Amarista moving all the way over to third base.
Padres attempt to strike first. They're 35-16 when they score the first run. That's significant. Take the early lead, and here's Matt Kemp with the chance. Infield back. They'll trade a run for a double play. Ball 1. Kemp has more hits than any Padre. He's the first over the century mark. He has 105. And he leads in RBIs, one more than Upton, who will follow. Kemp with 58. 93 fastball, 1-1. You saw that graphic earlier on Kemp that he's really cut down his strikeouts of late. Right field, Braun into the corner. That's plenty deep enough. Tagging is Amarista. The throw is to second base, and Amarista scores. The Padres lead 1-0. Credit Kemp with his 59th RBI. And a look now at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, we talk about it all the time. The Padres just scored first, and what do you know? The Padres, when they do that, 35-16 record, and shut down the Brewers with runners in scoring position. 5th best in the National League for the Brew Crew at 263.
Back in the lineup, Justin Upton, after he took on that left field railing head on Monday night. Came away, hit it with his jaw. That was okay, but his thumb jammed, so he sat out last night. Padre leader in home runs with 18. Solarte still at first, 1 out. Ripped up the middle. Welcome back, Justin Upton. That was a bullet right back through Youngman's position, and the Padres have their 3rd hit in the first inning.
That ball was scalded. Hockey suit right back at you. Oh, that's a great sound. That's a great sound if you're a hitter, Dick, but as a pitcher,
So Youngman, who doesn't give up many hits, batting average against him is .218. 3 singles here in the first. Amarista, Solarte, and now Upton. Yonder Alonso, .277. That is the highest batting average of any regular Padre. And that should be 2. Right to the second baseman and back to first. Oh, a missed play there. And Solarte thought about trying to come home. Had he been running hard all the way, he could have scored on the bobble there at first base. So the inning still alive as the Brewers unable to turn the double play. Jeanette would have been better served to go to the bag himself and throw to first.
And you could see the frustration on manager Craig Counsell's face because this had double play written all over it. Jeanette with the backhand and then the throw. It's a bad throw. He had plenty of time. Segura had plenty of time. He just yanked that one. Drew Lind off the bag. And what do you know? Now Jed Jerko gets a chance to drive in a run or two.
No error on the play. You can't presume the double play. So first and third for Jerko. Breaking ball strike. Good road trip for Jerko. He's 11 for 31 to raise his average up to 234.
Got to make that hurt.
Strike 2.
You know, after talking with Alonzo Powell and Mark Kotze about pitchers who work down in the zone like Youngman, you have to get them up in the zone. If you get a fastball up, go to Hacken.
Solarte from third. Alonso at first. And a strikeout. Breaking ball away, and the first strikeout for Taylor Youngman. The Padres get a run on 3 hits and lead 1-0. Kennedy.
Nice changeup from Ian Kennedy.
Struck him out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lead that and miss. Ian Kennedy solid his last 11 starts. 4-4 with a 2.80 ERA. Here's the lineup for Milwaukee that he'll be facing. Brought to you by Hyundai. Scooter Gennett leads it off. Then Lucroy, Ryan Braun, Adam Lind in the cleanup spot. Then Chris Davis and Shane Peterson, Segura, Perez, and the pitcher Youngman. Back from paternal leave and with a strike.
And the scouting report for Ian Kennedy brought to you by Montalvo. Strikes early, expand late. We're going to keep an eye on that and keep the ball in the yard. Ian Kennedy has given up 23 home runs this year. This is a hitter's ballpark. And if he throws the ball like he did last time out in Miami, he should be A-OK, although he did surrender 1 home run.
Well, back from the presentation of his 4th daughter, my wife Allison, young Evelyn Nicole, and mom doing just fine. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brewers snapped their 6-game losing streak last night with a 4-1 win. Padres had some chances, especially late, but couldn't get that one big hit. Ground ball, gloved, and then out of the glove, and a base hit for Gennett. Too tough to handle. And the leadoff man on for the Brewers. Padres defense brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Upton, Venable, and Kemp left to right. In the outfield with Solarte and Amarista guarding the left side. Jerko and Alonso on the right side. And Hedges behind the plate for Kennedy. Infield hit for Gennett brings up Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Slow start for Lucroy, but of late he's hitting like the Lucroy of last year. Finished 4th in the most valuable player balloting, hitting .292 the last 29 games. Ball 1. Well, through 66 games a year ago, he was hitting .335, .249 this year.
Just could never get going in 2015. Pitchers taking advantage of that, swinging at balls out of the zone.
In the past, he was very adept at hitting the ball the opposite way with a runner at first. He's got the big hole on the right side.
He's a double play candidate. As you take a look at the way the infield's playing for San Diego, he leads the Brewers, grounding into 15 double plays this year.
Ryan Braun on deck. Two and one. Brewers on their homestand, they were swept by the Cubs, a 4-game sweep. Lost the first game of this series, so they're 1-5 on the current stand, a long one, 11 games. After the Padres leave town tomorrow afternoon, St. Louis comes in for 3. Runner goes. And the ball is drilled to left field, way back in left field, up into the wall. Home run. Finally makes the slide, the first home run of the series. Lucroy's 4th of the year, and there goes the Padre lead, 2-1 Milwaukee.
Well, it's a fastball, and he missed big time with location. Up in, Lucroy is all over it. 2-1 fastball. He wanted it down. Austin Hedges reaches up. Good effort by Justin Upton, but not enough. Ouch.
24th home run served up by Kennedy this year. That's been his Achilles. Here's Braun. That makes 10 straight games in which Kennedy has given up at least one home run. So the first two batters collaborate. A 2-run effort in their partnership, and the lead. He went around 0-2.
Well, sometimes a couple of things come into factor when you miss your spot. Mechanically, maybe he was just not in sync right there, or maybe kind of overthrown a little bit. Any way you look at it, that fastball leaked middle in. It was elevated above the belt buckle, and Lucroy took advantage of that. He wanted it down and away.
Braun's had good success against Kennedy, 9 for 20 and a home run. And he hits that ball deep to right center. Venable going back to the wall and makes the catch at the top of the wall. Braun flirts with a home run.
We know that Ryan Braun has got opposite field power. He gets good extension. Will Venable can cover some ground.
That might have been over had he not caught it. It was right off the yellow marker at the top of the fence. Adam Lind, cleanup hitter, former Blue Jay, takes a strike. He joined the 1,000 hit club this year. First season in that Milwaukee uniform, which is one of the least attractive uniforms in baseball. Jaundice yellow.
Yeah, not a fan. Well, there's an adjustment by Ian with the breaking ball there, and Lind all over. He bounced a curveball, so that should tell you something about Lind. Don't have to throw him a strike.
Thrown out at the plate last night when he didn't slide on a great throw from Melvin Upton, and almost thrown out a second time. Upton's throw was high, and Derek Norris leaping to catch it, and a swipe tag just missed the backside of Lind, who didn't slide again. And he chases again the breaking ball, and that's the first strikeout. Or did he get a piece? Apparently he got just a little piece of that.
It's another curveball. Kind of tough to tell, huh?
Well, if he nicked it, he didn't get much of the old horse hide. Back with the 0-2. Chris Davis, left fielder, on deck. And the umpire's position. That one in the dirt, 2-2.
And traditionally, a lot of hitters like to have that back foot on the back line of the batter's box. Not the case for Adam Lind. He's more square up to home plate. His body even in that batter's box. Usually they like to have that back foot back here.
Yeah, especially for a power hitter. Foul back toward us, just below our booth. Got to charge those, Mud.
Yeah, that one was coming in hot. Here comes the curveball.
Grounded by Churko into right field. That ball hit hard, appeared off the bat. Churko had a play, but that scooted by him in a hurry. And the Padres 3 hits in the top of the first inning. Now 3 for the Brewers in the bottom half.
Boy, if taken, that's a ball. That ball was down, so Lind goes down and gets it. One hop just out of the reach, hooking off the bat. Thought Jed had a chance.
Brings up Chris Davis. Grew up very near the Milwaukee Brewers spring training site in Maryville, Arizona. Valley of the Sun. Strike one. with Carlos Gomez traded away at the deadline. Outfield shifting around, and Gerardo Parra, the other outfielder, traded, giving Davis a full-time job, and the man on deck, Shane Peterson, starting now in center field. Two and one the score as the Padres get one. First inning on singles by Amarista and Solardi, sacrifice fly Kemp, but Jeanette singles and a home run Lucroy, and another shot to left center field. That's between the outfielders, and fortunately bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. Otherwise Lynn might have been coming home. Well, everything hit hard so far off Kennedy.
Remember the last couple nights, Chris Davis has had really a problem with the slider. Andrew Castro threw him some sliders last night. First night Tyson Ross, but that was a first pitch fastball. And once again, Ian's got to make an adjustment with the location of that fastball. The Brewers are teeing off on the fastball, just catching too much on the plate and getting it up a little bit.
Pitching coach Darren Balsley out to offer a suggestion or two. Started with Jeanette hitting one off the glove of Amarista for a base hit. Then the home run Lucroy. Braun just missed a home run as Venable took it off the top of the wall in right center. Lynn with a line shot past Jerko, and now Chris Davis a laser double to left center. Brings up Shane Peterson, the center fielder. Just 100 at bats so far as a Brewer. Last 20 games hitting .406.
That was a nice first pitch curveball, fouled back. A good rotation.
Peterson last night tripled to right center and also had an infield hit and a walk. 2 for 3. Infield back. 1 out, second and third occupied by Milwaukee.
Yeah, if you bring an infield in this situation, and you know, let's say a guy gets jammed and they dump one over the infielders' heads, that can create, that's 2 runs. Ground ball to the middle infielders, you give up a run, but still 2 outs.
And that ball by first base, that'll get in 2 more. Peterson on his way to second as 2 more Brewers score. Now he's going to try for 3 as the ball sticks in the corner. A triple for Peterson. It's 4-1. So triples in back-to-back games for Shane Peterson.
Well, first pitch of the at-bat was a curveball. This pitch, it's a curveball. And when you throw a looping curveball into the left-handed hitter, if you're a right-handed pitcher, it speeds up his bat. He keeps that one fair. Just didn't have it down and in where he wanted it.
So the Brewers as a team have hit for the cycle in the first inning. Single, double, triple, home run. Now the infield will come in. Gene Segura, the one Brewer who has not been hitting well of late. He's 5 for the last 49. And pops up into foul territory. Alonso for the second out. Hitting 8th, Herman Perez. Picked up on waivers from the Tigers in June, early June. And he's done a good job hitting the last 40 games, batting .303. Infield now can move back. Weak swing there. Four runs on 5 hits. 2 singles, a double, a triple, and a home run for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, you hate playing catch up, especially when you score first in your top half of the first inning.
2 strikes on Perez.
He likes to swing that Schley at the high pitches. Judging by what we've seen from Perez this series, you don't have to throw this kid a strike as well. He's never seen a pitch he never liked.
Change up. Misses. 1-2. 2-run homer Lucroy. 2-run triple Peterson for the 4-1 lead here in the first inning. Another one. Pitcher Taylor Youngman, 9th in the order, is on deck. Pretty good hitter, by the way. Fly ball right field. Easy chance for Kemp. Inning comes to an end, but the Brewers strike 4 runs on 5 hits, and after one they lead it 4-1.
And as you saw, Justin Upton back in the lineup after missing yesterday with a bruised thumb. It's the padding part of that thumb. He said yesterday it was the throwing that was giving him the most pain. So he came in today. A lot of the swelling, a lot of the discomfort was down. So he told Pat Murphy, I'm ready to go. And you've already seen him hit the single earlier. Looks like that thumb is doing well. More also on Brandon Morrow. He went and saw another doctor, got a second opinion. He's been diagnosed with shoulder impingement. So now they will wait until Friday, and he has 2 options. One of those options is just to continue rehab. The second option would be to have surgery and have his shoulder scoped, which would leave him out 3 to 4 months. If he does choose that option, he would be ready to go by spring training, but they're going to wait until they meet on Friday in person, Dick.
Yeah, that's a shame. He was off to such a good start as a Padre pitcher in April, but shoulder difficulties. As Venable starts the Padres second inning, a ball and a strike. Venable, Hedges, and Kennedy scheduled. And Taylor Youngman presented with a nice 3-run cushion here, going to work in the second. 1-2. Will hitting .250. His RBI total on his back 25. Consistently at 93, Youngman with the fastball. That line drive into the crowd in a hurry. Be ready.
No, Andrew Cashner on the left, talking with another right-hander, Tyson Ross. The two pitchers in the first two games of this series. Tyson kept him close, ended up getting the win, got a lot of run support, and Andrew kept him close last night.
Strike three called, and Venable do it. Second strikeout for Youngman.
Boy, Youngman goes from the third base side. He throws across his body. So look at the crossfire action down and in to Will Venable. It's a big kid right there. That's a big frame. That's 6'6" coming right at you.
Hedges 64 at bats with 12 hits. But swinging the bat better with each starting appearance. In fact, there you see the evidence. Last 7 games, hitting .368, knocking in 3 runs.
Yeah, feeling more comfortable, having a chance to get some reps.
And he hits this one to left field, and Davis there to make the catch. Ian Kennedy steps up. 4 hits in 28 at bats for Kennedy. He had a double, remember, in the game in Miami. That was the game in which the Padres broke it open in the 11th inning. 8-3. Youngman last year at AAA Nashville was only 5-6. But his strikeout total told Milwaukee management they had something special. 101 strikeouts in as many innings. Two and two.
Yeah, one of the things Youngman has discovered in his days in the minor leagues and up at the big league level is just trust the fastball. He pitched at Colorado Springs. He pitched in some places where the ball kind of flies, and he says, you know what, you can't be a nitpicker out there. You got to trust your fastball. That is what he has done. He gets that downward motion, gets a little cut action on that fastball, and has been very successful.
Back to the mound. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Padres in the second. The Brewers lead by 3. And the Dodgers, of course, leading in the National League West by 2 over the Giants. Taylor Youngman leads off the second for the Brewers. He's 5 for 17 swinging the bat. You got to respect his ability offensively.
Yeah.
Jeanette and then Lucroy to follow here in the second inning, with the Brewers getting to Kennedy early tonight. 4 runs and 5 hits in the first inning.
Let's see what he does with the wrinkle, the curveball from Kennedy.
Lays off 1-2. Strike 3 called. Kennedy with his first strikeout. Well, he has struck out opponents 15 times in 48 plate appearances with runners in scoring position. At 7th best in the major leagues coming in, but he's one of the worst in the National League in getting hitters to swing at his breaking ball. And he has used his curveball just 8.3% of the time. So primarily a fastball pitcher.
You know, the second lowest, you saw that disparity there, 18% as opposed to league average 30%. So one of the things I want to look at tonight with 2 strikes, or even the breaking ball in general, are the Brewer hitters going to offer it that? Is it close enough to entice the hitter to offer?
Jumps in front of Jeanette, 2 strikes. Jeanette singled off Amarista's glove to start that 4-run first inning.
Now, to give an example and put that perspective, let's say there's 2 strikes. Well, anybody can bounce a 55-foot curveball, right? But can you throw the curveball close enough to have the hitter offer at it and swing at it?
Goes to the changeup there, 1-2.
It's like that slider that starts just on the plate a little bit, and then hitters have to swing at it, and then it ends off the plate, enticing them to swing.
Foul tip, strike 3. Tied him up inside. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second.
Goes to show you how a well-placed fastball from Ian Kennedy. He's going to be 92-93, 4-seamer, and it ties him up. Good pitch, good location.
Jonathan Lucroy, 385-foot home run, his first time up with a man on. Fastball, strike 1. One of the Padres' young minor leaguers, nice honor last night, the MVP, the Top Star Award in the Northwest versus Pioneer League All-Star game, featuring basically players that have been just selected out of high school and college, making their pro career debuts. Peter Van Gansen, 12th round pick of the Padres out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. A shortstop, had the winning walk-off single in the 10th inning and was awarded the Top Star Award. Peter Van Gansen.
Oh, good for him. Another shortstop from Cal Poly SLO comes to mind. Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith.
Yes, indeed. Back in my coaching days, we saw him.
Did you try to recruit him?
Head coach. No, we didn't try to recruit him, but head coach Stan Charnowski of the Matadors of San Fernando Valley State College would have liked him. And I can recall, in fact, I saw Ozzie in Cooperstown and chatted with him about the fact, were you the same Ozzie Smith who could really pick it at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo? And we could knock the bat out of your hands? Yep. He said, yeah, that was me. I said, you learned how to hit, didn't you? He said, yeah, that's why I'm here. What a talented athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Two and two now to Lucroy.
Trying to keep the fastball away. Remember the home run earlier in the first inning? It leaked middle in and elevated. Ian making a conscious effort of trying to keep that fastball away. And with that said, the outfield for the Padres, Venable, playing on the first base side of second base in center.
Ground ball sharply at Jerko. And Kennedy comes back and retires the Brewers in order. It's 4-1. Road trip, and before using the home run ball, 8 homers in the last 8 games, and some dramatic stuff, of course, in New York. The grand slam homer by Derek Norris, and then in the heavy rain, Justin Upton giving the Padres a 8-7 dramatic win. And little Ninja in Miami goes deep. And Solarte here in Milwaukee with 2 home runs, the first time in his career, and Jerko a monster home run himself. Amarista leads off the third. He's singled and scored in the first inning.
It's ironic because going into this game, both Milwaukee and San Diego tied in giving up home runs at 13th in the National League for the most home runs. They each have given up 113 home runs.
Almost clipped him. 2-1. Miller Park very friendly to the home run hitter. 3rd most home runs in the major leagues behind Baltimore and Houston. Taylor Youngman, no surprise that he is here in the big leagues and pitching effectively. He was a top draft pick 4 years ago, a first rounder, 12th overall selected out of the Texas Longhorn baseball program.
All 6'6" of them. And, you know, I think he's got room for growth as far as, not maybe growing taller, but as far as filling out a little bit for this guy. And he's just going to get better, I think. You see the first and second time around. Hopefully the Padres can do something the second time around this lineup.
One hopper. Not hit that hard, and Jeanette takes care of business. 1 away. Brings up Jan Solarte, who singled past second base his first time. Now an 11-game hitting streak for Solarte. 16 for 34 in this streak, nearly 500. can see Solarte's personality emerge this year. From last year, he's kind of quiet and stood his own and did the best he can. This year, he's showing a lot of personality, and I think it's reflective of he's feeling that now I know I'm good.
Sure, absolutely. Confidence breeds success. And the other way around as well. And we saw him when he was acquired by the Yankees and he came over to San Diego. He was showing some electricity and some life on that bench. But you're right, Dick. More of that personality starting to come out.
A couple of off-speed pitches, and Youngman is ahead 2 strikes.
I don't know how many legitimate curveballs Youngman have thrown for a strike tonight. Those two clearly were balls as you take a look at the pitch range. 94 in the fastball, 74 in the changeup. And curveball has been in that category as well. There's a 76 on the curveball. You mentioned it earlier. Lind for the Brewers up in the box. Jan Hervis Solarte up in the box as well.
And a looper into center field. That's going to fall in front of center fielder Peterson, and Solarte is 2 for 2. Just floats a nice single into the grass in shallow center.
Fastball up, getting on top of it just enough, and sometimes not hitting the sweet spot. Yeah, you get jammed a little bit. Peterson was playing on the deeper side and falls in for a base hit.
Matt Kemp knocked in the Padre run in the first inning, driving in Amarista from third on a sacrifice fly. His 59th RBI.
Once again, a ball. Keep an eye on that curveball. Can he prove to throw it for a strike?
71% of his pitches fastballs.
So heavy on the heater, look for the fastball, and then see if he can throw that breaking ball for a strike.
1-1 to Kemp with Upton to follow.
Okay, now I'm not a hitter. I never pretend to be a hitter, but I'm thinking along as a hitter. If I'm facing a guy like Youngman or any pitcher, after the first time around through the lineup, I'm going to go ask somebody and say, hey, how many curveballs did he throw? And how many were legitimate strikes, if taken? And take that information and kind of utilize it my next at-bat, because if he's thrown 8 breaking balls and 1 for a strike legitimately, I'm probably going to spit on the breaking ball. I know it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. I've never won a silver slugger. I can't hit my way out of a wet paper bag. I'm just trying to, think along what a hitter might be thinking.
Solarte at first, 1 out single. That went to third. The second for 1, back to first, and around the horn, double play. Oh, that was smoothly executed. Perez, Jeanette to Lind.
Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. right here on Fox Sports San Diego, the Padres Live Special on Fox Sports San Diego. Dick Enberg and the Ford C. Frick Award recognition. Gonna go with Dick Enberg, and there's going to be a ceremony on the field. We're going to track what Dick did in Cooperstown on his special weekend. And then Gary Templeton and Benito Santiago being inducted in the Padres Hall of Fame. That's Saturday at 4:30. Padres Live Special, all right here on Fox Sports San Diego. So it's going to be a double dip, a double header. Dick Enberg, Hall of Fame. Cooperstown, Benito Santiago, Gary Templeton, Padres Hall of Fame, all right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Saturday night, baseball night in San Diego. Come out and cheer two of the great San Diego Padres. Santiago, Templeton. As the Padres host the Philadelphia Phillies Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Cincinnati in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ryan Braun, a deep drive to right center. Venable caught it right at the top of the fence. Shot to third. Solarte gloves. Across for the out, a little off mark, but a tag made by Alonso for the first out.
Heavy workload the first inning for Ian, 33, and then the second inning made an adjustment. A 1-2-3 inning, 9-1-2 there in that second inning. And getting Braun out quickly here in the third.
6 in a row retired by Kennedy since the 2-run triple by Peterson. Lind singled to right and scored in the first inning. Shot one just under the glove of Jerko at second. I know you saw the news and have to be very delighted at the announcement by the Padres. Fly ball shallow in center. Venable started back. Now he comes in to make the grab for the second out. That on September 5th, that's a Saturday night. And of course, we saw him in action in spring training. Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He's going to premiere his HBO special. It'll be shown at Petco Park right after the finish of the game. And that's with the Dodgers. So there's a nice double bill. You get to see the Padres and Dodgers, and then Will Ferrell in his HBO special. Ferrell takes the field.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And tickets available September 5. Big swing and a foul back. Davis a double to left center field, his first at bat, and scored one of the 4 Brewer runs.
Good fastball.
All right, location. Huh? 92, but the 92, when it's over the heart of the plate, can be hit a long ways. You throw it in that spot.
Hopefully Ian continues to do just that, and the Padres bats come alive in the fourth. Get back in this one.
1-2. Four-run first inning for Milwaukee. They lead it 4-1 here. And the third. Line drive, base hit. Davis is 2 for 2.
Tried to go back there. 1-2 fastball. Just left it over too much of the plate. Once again, Chris Davis' series having difficulty with the slider. After going up and in with the fastball, he tried to double up on that. Ian Kennedy did. Just didn't hit his spot.
Brings up Shane Peterson with Alonso playing off the bag at first base. Peterson grounded one right over first base into the right field corner for a triple to knock in 2 of the 4 runs in the first inning. Lucroy a 2-run homer, and then Peterson's 2-run triple. So the Brewers, as they rebuild this team, trading away so many of their best hitters at the deadline, they're looking at everyone, and Peterson is passing the audition so far. Pops it up left side. And Marista calls off Solarte for the out. So 3 innings in the books here at Miller Park, and the Brewers lead it 4-1. Four to 1, send up the middle 3 in the order. Upton, Alonso, and Jerko, and some of the deadline deals. Ben Zobrist going to Kansas City. Yoenis Cespedes to the Mets. David Price to the Blue Jays. Scott Kazmir to the Astros. All 4 of those teams with eyes on the playoffs.
Well, I like the idea of the 2 position players, everyday guys who can make an impact. In fact, Mark Sweeney called Ben Zobrist when the trade deadline before one of the most impactful players to be traded. He was, in fact, dealt and bolstering Kansas City as their 9.5 leaders in the Central. Cespedes, serious potential, obviously, but anytime you get a guy like Kazmir and Price in your rotation, that's a good way to bolster your starting 5.
Youngman jumps in front of Upton, 2 strikes. Well, and the Brewers traded away Aramis Ramirez. Carlos Gomez, the center fielder, and Gerardo Parra was hitting over 330. A ball, 2 strikes to Upton. He shot a single back through the middle his first time up.
Brewers in return 6 good prospects. And once again, prospects. They got a couple of good arms as well in those trades.
Rip to third. Perez guarding the line, takes care of the first out. Brewers in their house cleaning. They're Parra, Gomez, and Ramirez, as well as pitcher Jonathan Broxton, and Mike Fire is a starting pitcher.
Also one of those prospects for the Brewers coming to Milwaukee in the minor league system, a center fielder, which they think could be paying dividends soon for Craig Counsell and the Milwaukee 9, and 2 pitchers.
Yonder Alonso, safe on a fielder's choice his first time. It was a double play ball that Brewers did not turn on a bad throw from Segura to first base. Alonso with Jerko to follow here in the 4th.
Youngman trying to get that crossfire action down and in at the hands of left-handed hitters going from that third base side of that rubber. And once again, he hasn't proven to me that he can throw that curveball for a strike, a legitimate strike.
Fastball, he does fire in there, 2-2. Alonso looking for his first hit in the series. 0 for 8 thus far. Saw my first game as a fan here in Milwaukee back in 1957 when it was County Stadium on this site. Philadelphia Phillies and Robin Roberts against Warren Spahn. Pretty good way to see your first game.
Milwaukee Braves, right?
And the third baseman for the Phils, one of the great nicknames, Willie Puddinhead Jones.
I remember hearing about him. That's a great nickname.
Puddinhead. I could have had that nickname. 2-2. Way out in front. Breaking ball fools Alonso. Let's go down to Chris Button. What do you have for us, Chris?
Well, Dick, Pat Murphy is familiar with a lot of these young pitchers because of his time in the minor leagues, but he actually knows Youngman from his time in college. Youngman, as you said, pitched for Texas, and he pitched against Pat Murphy and his Arizona State Sun Devils, the last College World Series that he ever coached in 2009. They lost that game in 11 innings.
And Youngman then earning the praise of all the scouting departments, and Milwaukee able to pick him first, the 12th overall selection 4 years ago. We saw a good young arm in Jimmy Nelson last night, 26 years of age. He pitched at Alabama, did not allow an earned run in 6 2/3, and now tonight the 25-year-old Youngman. Those two figure to be a part of Greg Council's rotation going forward. 1-2. The Jerko struck out the first time.
It all starts with the starting pitching, doesn't it, Dick? I mean, that's how
everyone says that. Yeah.
I mean, look at the Mets.
And there's the same pitch they struck out in the first time. The breaking ball in the dirt away. 4 strikeouts for Youngman. ...2006, Trevor Hoffman throws a scoreless ninth. San Diego wins 6-3 over Washington at Petco. And Hoffman becomes the first major league reliever to record 30 saves for 11 different seasons. Padres closer's milestone establishes a major league mark, surpassing that set by Lee Smith, baseball's all-time saves leader at the time.
Oh, I love number 51. Love to see him more out the ballpark. I know he's got a lot going on, but I miss seeing 51. You know how presidents are, 38, 30, 40. Right, hey, 42's here, whatever.
Yeah.
51. Yep. And if you're a San Diego Padre fan, there's no need to explain. You know who we're talking about.
And hopefully that number 51 will go into Cooperstown's Hall of Fame next year. He's eligible. Segura, Perez, and the pitcher Youngman against Kennedy here in the fourth. Segura fouled out his first time. Pops it up, shallow and right. Kemp coming in for the first down. That'll bring up Perez, who flies to right, his first at bat. Well, this is a very important day, not only because we showed you Hoffman getting that save and another 30 save season, but for all of us in this business, because on this date in 1921, KDKA had the audacity in Pittsburgh to try to broadcast a Major League Baseball game, and it worked. Thanks to Harold Arlen. The Pirates beat the Phils at Forbes Field, the very first radio broadcast of a Major League game on this date, 1921.
Very cool. And the gentleman's name was?
Harold Arlen.
Steve Arlen's grandpa, right?
Yes, it was. Very good.
The pitcher is Steve Arlen for the Padres.
Perez again flies out to right field. And there's two away.
Dr. Steve Arlen, not only could he throw a nasty curveball, but he could also do a nasty root canal. And fill the cavity. Oh, that's a great little nugget.
That takes control too, doesn't it?
It does take great control.
Here's Youngman. He struck out, taking a third strike his first time.
Yeah, that curveball was a pitch you could really sink your teeth into.
Oh yeah.
I know, folks. The puns are bad.
Hey, when
you
masticate,
I'm having fun. I'm at the ball yard.
Yeah.
I'm watching Padre baseball. I'm working with the professor, Hall of Famer, so I bought it.
Hey, masticating is one of your better things. So just keep on chewing over there.
I smell a brat.
Ooh, 1-1, the Youngman. Just off the plate.
Well, Ian has found a little groove. It's just too bad that the 4 runs in the first inning, he wasn't hitting his spots. He's doing well with the fastball right now. There you go.
2-2. Jammed him. Roller toward the hole. It's going to be a tough play for Amarista. Base hit. Youngman, he runs much too well. Jammed. Slow roller, and he has another hit. He's 6 for 19 as a hitter.
Well, this is one of those situations where you just got to shake your head and kind of chuckle a little bit. It was a good pitch. It was a great pitch. Snapped his bat. Just happened to find that roller to the left side. A little 18 hopper. A long way to go for Amarista to get Youngman.
Those long legs of the 6'6 Youngman really pedaling up the line in a hurry. So that rolls the lineup over, and here's Scooter Gennett. Infield hit and a strikeout. Seven hits now for Milwaukee. In case you're just joining us, all 4 runs scored in the first inning on 5 hits. The big blows were a 2-run homer by Jonathan Lucroy and a 2-run triple from Shane Peterson. Well, I'm sorry that we're not really sorry. We're going to be happy to get home. I've been on the road 15 days since we leave tomorrow, but it'd have been nice to have been here for the weekend. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because Bob Uecker's bobblehead dowel is Sunday.
Okay.
That's his 3rd bobblehead. He may lead the majors in bobbleheads.
I think so.
Wonder what he has to say about that.
You need to get all 3.
out of play.
He's going to be on the postgame show, right?
That's a segue for you, huh? There it is, the Euchre bobblehead on Sunday, and we will actually have him present that for the first time on San Diego television. It's going to be right here on Fox Sports San Diego on our postgame show.
Nice. That's one to look forward to and stick to after the game on the postgame show.
Oh, the erudite Euchre, he's so cerebral, and he's going to offer such interesting philosophy and in-depth look at baseball. It's like a master essay. So stay with us for the postgame show. The man with a face for radio. 1-2 to Jeanette.
Well, in the first pitch strike category for Ian, 16 of 19 tonight for the right-hander. That's a strike. I think that's a strike.
2-2 the count. Apparently, Carapazza, the umpire, thought it was inside.
And to quantify that number, look at that. The major league average this season is 61%. Ian tonight at 84.
The strikes, though, were just a bit too juicy in that first inning. Full count. Jeanette, infield hit. Lucroy followed with a 2-run homer. Braun sent one deep to right center that Venable picked off the top of the fence. Lynn singled to right. Davis doubled to left center. Shane Peterson tripled into the right field corner. And the Brewers had a 4-1 lead. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A changeup gets Jeanette. Nothing for the Brewers in the fourth. We move on 4-1.
Use the hashtag, though, hashtag SD Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by our good friends at T-Mobile. Have some fun with it and send your tweets our way.
So the Padres come up in the top of the fifth inning, need some runs, trailing 4-1 against Taylor Youngman, who gave up 3 hits and a run in the first inning, but only a single since, and that was a bloop hit by Solarte. Venable, Hedges, and Kennedy do. Will Venable here at Miller Park, hitting .349 in his career. Well, look at the hitters: Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, Utley, Maurer, and Venable. That's good company.
Yeah, you know what? I talked to hitters here, particularly about Miller Park, and when you look at the batter's eye here, it's a pretty good batter's eye. They've got that huge scoreboard out in center field, but still that batter's eye is low to where right there they can see the ball out of the pitcher's hand.
NL West teams, Dodgers leading at Philadelphia 4-1 in the 7th. The Giants have a 6-1 lead against the Marlins in Miami in the late innings. They're separated by 2 games at the start tonight. Venable took a third strike his first time. 4 strikeouts for Youngman.
There's a curveball for a called strike.
These young pitchers for Milwaukee have good control. No walks from Youngman. Last night, Nelson, 6 2/3, walked only 1. And that was at the very end of his outing. Padres need some base runners. Venable trying to get on, open this 5th inning. Checks a swing, but goes around, says plate umpire Carapazza. 2-2.
Well, 16 of 20 pitches and 2 strike counts tonight have been strikes for Taylor Youngman. I'd say that's a pretty good ratio for the young right-hander. Let's see what he does here.
Out goes 3-2.
Just missed the fastball, but good downward plane from the 6'6" frame. Up and away, down and in to Venable.
A bouncer to the right side, an easy play for Jeanette. 1 away here in the 5th. Austin Hedges, catcher, flied out to left field his first at bat. Well, the Brewers have the 2nd worst record in all of baseball. So the Padres came in here with a 4-game series after taking 2 out of 3 from both the Mets and the Marlins, thinking, hey, maybe here's a chance to really run up some victories, get to that 500 mark. But these 2 young pitchers have stymied San Diego. Taylor Youngman tonight and Jimmy Nelson last night. So far the Padres have 1 earned run against the 2. And 1. And just trying to get on there so that the Padres can use Kennedy's at bat for a sacrifice. Popped him up, but that's going to come back behind home plate screen.
Yeah, some way, shape, or form. Try to get the Padres to flip that lineup over, get Youngman into the stretch, and get the big boys up there. Trying to make something happen.
Padre run in the first inning, back-to-back singles, Amarista and Solarte to open the game. And Kemp knocked in the run with a sacrifice fly. Upton then singled, but Padres got no more. 2-2.
Breaking ball.
Strike 3 called. That's 5 punch outs for Youngman.
Okay, 2 times this inning, Youngman has thrown a curveball for a legitimate strike. 1 to Will Venable early in the count, and this one Buckles right down the middle of the plate. Buckles Austin Hedges for the called 3rd. Starting to throw it for a strike.
Time now for the Cholula flamethrower.
And with the young right-hander Youngman on the mound at 94. That's firm. It's good fuzz.
But is it hot sauce?
It's hot sauce.
Okay. That's what we're selling here now, you know.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it when it's our guy.
Oh, okay, then you give it that
I
breathy.
give more love to
like
the
that.
Padre guy,
Yeah, the breathy.
Yeah.
Kennedy out on the comebacker, his only at bat, and quickly down on the count, 2 strikes.
Oh, what an emotional week for this kid, E. Kennedy.
Yeah, to go back home and be there a little late, but he saw the birth of his 4th daughter by way of the internet, and then gets home to hold his young girl, Evelyn Nicole. Then back here to join the club. Rough first inning tonight. Ground ball to short. Segura, edge of the outfield grass. The long throw in time. And another 1-2-3 inning for Taylor Youngman. He's retired 7 in a row. On Fox Sports San Diego, Padres postgame show. Bottom of the 5th inning, Ian Kennedy will face that same hitter, Jonathan Lucroy, who homered in the first inning. Then Ryan Braun and Adam Lynn, the heavy end of the Milwaukee order. Milwaukee starts tonight with 45 wins and 63 losses, 23 full games behind St. Louis in the National League Central. Padres 52 and 55, 8.5 back of the Dodgers, and 7 out of the wild card spot.
Well, the one thing I was looking at when you look at the records of these two teams when they break it down, Milwaukee really struggling against the West, 8 and 20 going into this game. The Milwaukee Brewers against the NL West.
Lucroy fouls it off, 1-1. Looking forward in this game, one thing the Padres have done very well is scoring runs in the late innings, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of games. Fouled away. In fact, they lead the National League with most runs scored from the 7th inning on. You just don't want to let the opposition get too big a lead on you. Score now is the same as the final score last night.
See how Ian's trying to keep the ball away from Jonathan Lucroy. We came back from break. Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney were talking about Ian's location, particularly the home run in that first inning.
Wanted it down and away. It leaked up and in.
Another foul. All right, I'm going to throw a name at you. It's a baseball player's name. I mean, you do your studying, and it's a tough one. I don't expect you to get it.
Right.
Mike Hessman. Mike Hessman.
I know the story. Great story.
Go ahead. Let me have
the minor leaguer who broke the home run record, 400 and some odd home.
Very good.
Toledo Mud Hens, correct?
He did it with the Toledo Mud Hens. Of course, he's been all over the minor leagues. 433 minor league home runs. He's the all-time minor league home run king. And he's had a couple of chances in the majors, and I think exactly, I'll tell you, 223 at-bats and hit 14 homers in 223 at-bats. But no one allowed him a full-time stay, and so he's the minor league home run king. He's the Babe Ruth, if you will, or you name your home run hero. Swing and a miss. Lucroy strikes out. That's number 4 for Kennedy. Our Arco top tier profile features Ryan Braun and his career against the Padres. He's a hitting machine. 57 hits in his career in 49 games. But look at the slugging percentage, .560 with 11 home runs. He's 1 home run from 250 in his career. Almost got that in the first inning. And in the batting practice today, I mean, it was eye-popping how far he hit the ball. He was hitting it over the second deck bleachers in left field.
Ian making some good pitches, wearing the collar tonight for Braun. The fly ball you were just talking about, Dick, and then the ground ball to the left side. They're playing him to pull in the infield.
High in the air. Second baseman Jerko wants it, and there's 2 away here in the 5th.
It wasn't a simple journey, but from Goddard, Kansas to the big leagues. Derek Norris tells us his story on Spotlight. Derek Norris. That's Monday after Padres Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Another good show, Spotlight. Boy, the variety of baseball programming here on Fox Sports San Diego is the envy of every major league city. We talk about covering a home team. That Jeff Bile, he's thinking of a new show every week, you know, to feature
great
the Padres,
stuff, isn't it? The best. Jeff Bile, the executive producer of Fox Sports San Diego. He's an idea man.
Lind, a single and a fly to center. Not only a great idea man, but in my some 60 years, I've never seen an executive handle his team better. I mean, he knows people, knows how to handle. You know, just like a good manager, you pat some on the back, you kind of kick the others on the backside.
Right.
You know, you give praise when it's deserved. You push them, motivate them to do better.
Right.
I probably won't get a raise or a bonus for that, but nice try. Yeah, there's some of us are waiting for that pat on the back, including our producer tonight, Max Michalek. But you know, Max, you've got another 20 years on your contract. It could happen. 0-2 to Lind.
Bouncing. There you go. Remember, Lind was swinging at those earlier in the game out of the zone, so Ian's thinking right along with him.
Well, since the first inning, Ian Kennedy has settled down, pitched some solid ball. But Milwaukee got to him in that first frame for 4 runs on 5 hits.
Better location after that first inning.
Ripped foul. Alonso, had it been fair, would have been able to snag it. Well, tomorrow, we hope you'll join us for day baseball. Our time in San Diego, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Despagne, 5-7 against Matt Garza. Garza's having a rough year. He's 5-12. We'll be chatting with you at 11 tomorrow morning. Another foul. That's the 90th pitch from Kennedy. There's a Griesemer.
Sure, he'll go in the clubhouse and look at some video and Look at the Brewer hitters live out here.
It's always nice to finish a long road trip with a win. That'll fall on the shoulders of Despaigne. Drive to right center. Venable on his horse. May get there. He will. That's at the edge of the warning path, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ian Kennedy.
Your bobblehead right here, does that look like you?
Let me see. Yes, it tastes like me too. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's you're sitting up in the that's the euchre seat in the top row, right?
Yes, it's in the very last row of the stadium, and what they do, people can go sit next to me up there and hug me. Nobody can sit facing me. They all have to sit in the seat next to me, and they pay $1, and the money goes to charity.
Well,
that's charity is Bob Euchre and his family.
One of the genuinely funny men ever in this game of baseball, Bob Euchre. And he was joshing about where that money goes. And then he's got a big heart as well. It goes to Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Nice.
That's nice. You go up there, you can have your picture taken to the with the statue of Euchre. Look at him doing his study. Boy, he's a constant student of this game. Up the middle, Jeanette. Near the back, Amarista's out. And speaking of the best seat in the house, let's go to Chris Budden.
Hey, well, I've joined Bob. He's not quite as talkative as he was in your interview earlier, but yeah, I'm at the seat, the very, very top behind home plate. I had to close my eyes to walk up here because it is a little bit scary up here. But, yeah, the Make-A-Wish, as you said, you pay $1, and they said they've made a lot of money off of this to give to Make-A-Wish, which is really a great charity to help. And I'll tell you what, I've been up here now for an inning, and at least 30 people in just that one inning have come up here to take a picture with Bob.
So where did they deposit the $1? Is there someone collecting it?
There is during the pregame until 10 minutes before, and then there is a little bucket over here that says Make-A-Wish.
Well, remember, Chris, how that all came about. Back in the day, Bob Euchre was a spokesperson for Miller Lite, which is brewed here in Milwaukee, and, he was at the ballpark, and he's sitting in the front row. And then the security guy, because they go, hey, let me see your ticket. He goes, yeah, And they moved him way up out of the upper deck.
That became the joke, right?
Yeah.
So I like the positioning here. He's got his arm around me, leg cross. It's like we're all buds up here on the 8th floor of this deck.
He's not calling the game tonight. He's reading this game. You can only get that here in Milwaukee. Solarte, 2 for 2. He's hit safely now in 11 straight games. Well, he must have appeared on the Johnny Carson Tonight Show nearly 100 times, maybe 100. And I mean, he'd break up Johnny every time.
Sure.
And of course, the great late host, considerable affection for Euchre. And when you're around him, you just wonder how his mind works. I mean, he comes up. In fact, tonight, we have an exclusive on the interview. He said he was going to announce it on Milwaukee radio and television, but because of our friendship, he's going to reveal something about his career only here on Fox Sports San Diego. So you have to stay tuned. Center field, shallow, long run for Peterson. He gets there. 2 away. As Youngman mowing him down now. That's 9 in a row.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres, and they are getting ready for the sausage race behind the left field wall.
We ought to get you entered in one of those.
I've done that before.
I know you have.
Yeah.
What were you? What sausage?
I think I was the brat.
Yeah, good. I'd have been rooting for you.
I won too.
You'd have to elbow some of those other links out of the way.
Forearm shivered. Yeah, I wanted to win.
Kemp sacrifice fly and grounded into a double play. A ball and a strike. So read them to us here, left or right. How do you know which one's which?
You've got the brat, you've got the Italian, you've got the hot dog, the Italian. Number 4 is the hot dog. Chorizo's number 5. Number 2 is the
bratwurst. Which one's the brat? A weak swing there at the fastball.
Okay, that's the brat because of the lederhosen.
There you go.
Number 2 is the hot dog. Number 3 is the Italian. Number 4 is 2 is Polish. I'm sorry, 4 is hot dog.
Never mind.
And there's chorizo.
Never mind. I'm full.
My bad.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Taylor Youngman making the Padre hitters look bad.
They're all wieners to us.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Michael. It's Chris Davis and Shane Peterson, followed by Gene Segura in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Brewers posting 4 in the first inning and have held on 4-1. Now into the 6th against Ian Kennedy. Another score tonight of interest. Detroit edged Kansas City 2-1 and beat Johnny Cueto. Rangers lead the Astros 4-1. Battle of Texans in the 6th inning. And the Padres trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning to Milwaukee. The Brewers have had trouble winning at home all season long. (21-34). Greg Counsell, much like Pat Murphy, taking over the ball club in midstream.
Yeah, Greg Counsell signing a 3-year deal to be the skipper of the Milwaukee Brewers, so he's here for a while, knowing that he's going to be in that dugout and leading the troops.
Padre pen busy for the first time. Marcus Mateo starts throwing. Breaking ball hit high in the air, left center field, shallow. Upton eases in for the first out, and we now check our Fan Diego fan of the game. And he's got the good jersey, the modern cap. Yeah, some more fans.
I was outside in the by the front gate here at Miller Park and saw a lot of Padre people coming into the ball yard rooting on the Padres.
Yeah, a lot of fans with Midwestern roots have gone out to San Diego, come back for the summer to visit. Big swing and a miss by Peterson. A 2-run triple in the first inning. All-star cap.
Yeah.
Two strikes on Peterson, the 2-run triple, and he popped a short his last time. Picked up on waivers during the winter from the Cubs. And with the trade of Carlos Gomez getting a chance to start now in this last week every game in center field.
You know, as you take a look at the pitch total, 100 for Ian Kennedy. I think that last pitch tells a lot. Getting hit quickly 0-2, and then what did he do? He went up the ladder in to Shane Peterson. Hit his spot. It's exactly where he wanted it. Let's see if he goes change up here. Oh, curveball.
Brewers 4 runs 5 hits the first inning, but only a couple of singles since.
It's a tough pitch to lay off 1 and 2. That was a changeup from Ian.
Brain trust of the Padres. Murphy with pitching coach Aaron Bowlesley and Dave Roberts, the bench coach. Shortstop Amarista. He throws Peterson 2 away. That'll bring up shortstop Gene Segura.
Marcos Mateo looks like he is up and ready to go alongside Willie Blair with the clipboard.
He's fouled out and flied out, Segura. So he's now 5 for the last 51. Late swing. Bigger crowd than the first 2 nights of the series. The Brewers, despite their poor record, have attracted fans in big numbers. 32,000 the average attendance this year. It's just about what the Padres are drawing at Petco. Hope you've made your plans. 6 games on the upcoming homestand. Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming up against the Phils. Then 3 against Joey Votto and the Cincinnati Reds. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Todd Frazier and the Reds in town for the 3. Solarte charges, gets the big hop, and throws him out. 1-2-3. Another solid inning for Kennedy, but it's still 4-1. Together in the heart of San Diego by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com. See how much you could save. Downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the banks of Lake Michigan.
Yes.
I love a good student as well.
Padre fan with the jersey and the hat and making the sign. I heart the professor. We all do. And
the Coles there, Herb Cole, the senator from Wisconsin, and a good friend of Al McGuire, and therefore I had an opportunity to meet Mr. Cole, and he's been a great public servant for the state of Wisconsin. Very generous in many of his charitable affairs. He built the basketball arena at the University of Wisconsin.
Well, we understand that woman is from Chicago, and she listens to us all the time on Fox Sports San Diego from Chicago.
Well, you've got that big Chicago contingent,
That's very nice of her.
It is indeed. Logan Schaefer goes into center field here in the 7th inning. Upton leads it off. 2-1 the count. Justin lined to single back through the middle in the 1st inning and lined to 3rd his other time.
That ball had some cut action to it at 91. A 4-seam fastball.
Taylor Youngman, true to all the advanced billing. 1 run and 4 hits for the Padres. 3 of the hits came way back in the 1st inning. And a strikeout. Number 7. 11 straight retired by Youngman.
Well, the pitch before this one was a cut fastball. That is a curveball. Splits the heart of the plate and brings Justin Upton to his knees. Good yacker for Taylor Youngman.
Yonder Alonso struck out the last time.
That's pretty good numbers right there. 2 earned runs or fewer in 9 of 10 starts this year.
Pretty good rookie.
Yes.
So there's promise, even though the Brewers have had a disastrous season and have traded away some of their top hitters. There are bright spots as they build for the future, and 2 of those we've seen back to back. Pitchers Jimmy Nelson and Taylor Youngman tonight, two big young right-handers. Pitch count for Youngman now at 97, so this could be his last inning. Perhaps the Padres will have better luck against the Milwaukee bullpen. But again, the remarkable control of these two rookies, Nelson and Youngman. And only one walk last night from Nelson. No walks tonight from the former Texas Longhorn.
And what a great way to get on the job training at the big league level, right? With the way the Brewers season is going. I've always loved the idea, it's August 5th. You're out 85 games. I'm being sarcastic. Brewers 23. You've got some arms. Bring them up to the big leagues and tell them, you know what? You're going to get the ball once every 5 days. And you're going to learn at this level. I see nothing wrong with that.
Big league audition.
Yeah.
Drive to right center field. Over goes Schaefer. Can't get there, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. He digs it back into the infield, and Alonso perched at second with a solid double. The first extra base hit by the Padres tonight, and that snaps a string of 11 straight outs from Taylor Youngman.
One of the few mistakes tonight that Youngman has thrown, and Yonder Alonso was all over it because Logan Schaefer was playing on the shortstop side of second base. He wins the battle there, Yonder Alonso does, getting out in front of it, pulling it, and standing on second with a double.
See if that gets the Padres offense going as Jed Jerko steps in. He struck out both times. Ground ball to short. He's running. They're fortunate there. Segura goes to first base. Didn't want to gamble on the throw to third, but Alonso in a 3-run deficit almost ran himself into one out at third base. He shouldn't have gone with that ball hit in front of him.
I was thinking the same thing, Dick, as that ball was struck to short. He's thinking, hey, 3-run lead, I get an out, 2 outs. Padres are going to have to come up with a 2-out hit to score that run.
So Will Venable with a chance at least to cut into that 3-run margin. 2 outs, Alonso at third. He struck out and grounded out. Ooh, good save by Lucroy. That's a goalie save, and that prevented Alonso from coming in. Jeremy Jeffress and Will Smith, a right and a left-hander, throwing in the bullpen now from Milwaukee. Two 2-0 to Venable. Catcher Austin Hedges on deck. Line drive, base hit. That'll score Alonso. Venable takes the turn and will hold with the long single to left, and it's a 4-2 game. Tying run comes to the plate here in the 7th. Venable's 26th run batted in this year.
I think Will did a nice job of staying on top of that ball and hitting that ball over his pitch. The pitch looked like it was up and away. Let's check it out of the hand of Youngman. It's up rather than trying to pull that ball. And with the way that Perez was playing at third base, just out of his reach, and the Padres cut the lead in half.
One swing away from tying it up as Austin Hedges steps in. He's flied to left and struck out tonight.
Dick, there are those numbers you were talking about early. The Padres scoring late, 7th inning or later.
Number 1 in the National League. Oh, that breaking ball fooling Hedges. His knees buckled and took it. Left-hander Smith, the right-hander Jeffress. 105 pitches now for Youngman.
Just takes one hanger.
Youngman threw 112 pitches his last outing. got something there, but fouled it away.
Dick, that pitch was right down the middle. Pitch number 2, middle in.
Solarte with a couple of hits. Padres have only 6.
Twelve of 44 swings. That's 27% tonight.
So that's a statistic. Gives credit to rookie Youngman. Tough to read. 2 strikes. The count on Hedges. And he gets him with a breaking ball. Strikeout number 8 for Taylor Youngman, but the Padres do get a run. Alonso double and a single by Venable. It's now 4-2. We're at the stretch half of the 7th at Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like German food, you can find some good eating here. Of course, it once was a huge German population. They called it Germantown. And, of course, all the good sausages and beer comes with that. As we check our Pick the Stick in-game update. And Solarte a +2 for Pomerantz. My usual 0. Grant with 2. How'd Button do? She's got 1, so you gain 1 point so far, but we won't have a clear winner as yet for the round of golf for 4 at Sycuan Casino. And look at Kennedy, 107 pitches coming into this 7th inning out. Trying to save that bullpen, go a full 7. Perez 1-1.
Well, you figure with the way that Ian's been throwing the baseball, it's 8-9-1 due up for the Brewers. Pitcher spot due up next. There is a pinch hitter on deck for the Brewers.
Barrera.
But you know what, the managers, pitching coaches, they look at, sure the pitch count comes into play with 110, but how has Ian been throwing the last few innings? He's been throwing the ball quite well. He's retired 7 in a row. 10 out of the last 11.
It's just the one bad inning, and it came at the very start of the game when he allowed all 4 runs and 5 hits in the first frame. 2-run homer by Lucroy, the second man he faced, and then a 2-run triple by Shane Peterson to close out the inning. 4-2. Padres trail. A couple innings left. And the full count. Perez has fly twice to right.
Now that's Milwaukee. The cheese top hat, a social sparkler in one hand, and a salted pretzel in the other.
Watch out. As down goes Perez. That is the strikeout number 5 for Kennedy. And a reminder that our closed captioning is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Elian Herrera is the pinch hitter. So that's it for Taylor Youngman, and another quality start for the rookie. 7 innings, just 2 runs and 6 hits. He did not walk a man, and that was key to the Padres unable to put together a rally against him. And he struck out 8. Herrera fouls it away. Well, the Padres will get a chance to attack the bullpen of the Brewers. They have been well used the last 2 games. 1-1.
Hey, Ian still got the 92 velocity on that fastball. Herrera 2 for 9 in the pinch hit category this year for Milwaukee. Good changeup.
This is by far the longest duration of the season for Kennedy. 110 was the previous high in the pitch count. 2-2. 93. That's his top fastball throughout the night. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's the 6th strikeout for Kennedy. His best stuff has come as the innings have progressed.
Just challenged him with a fastball there. Even though Herrera's off the bench, a pinch hitter, this is just a fastball down the middle. Coming at you. Four-seamer.
Leadoff hitter Scooter Gennett hit off shortstop Amarista's glove in the first inning, and then he scored on Lucroy's home run that followed. He struck out the last 2 times. Good curveball.
Yeah. Well, he's got that release point down. And on pitch 120, that was one of the better curveballs we've seen.
Well, this is a workhorse effort by Ian Kennedy. And he's a pitch away from striking out the side with 121 pitch count. Kennedy is due to hit first in the top of the 8th inning, so this is it for him. At 33 pitches in the first inning is undoing. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out the side. What an effort. You erased that first inning, and that was a brilliant outing by Ian Kennedy. 4-2, Milwaukee leads it. The Padres will face Will Smith for the third straight night. Smith has pitched in each of the first 2 games, faced 5 batters, struck out 4. Most in a game since 2012 against the Giants. 122 pitches for Ian Kennedy.
He got better as the night went on.
Absolutely. Strikes out the side in the 7th. Finishes with 7 strikeouts. Allowed only 7 hits, the 4 runs, 5 hits in the first inning. After that, he was in total control. Our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. 56th game for Smith.
And 3rd in a row against the Padres.
Upton fouls it back.
We'll have to see how Will Smith reacts on night number 3 in a row. The fastball, slider, curveball. A lot of 4-seamers, about 93s. You take a look at 39 games, the numbers for Melvin Upton Jr.
Strikeout pitcher, Smith. As we mentioned, he's faced 5 batters in the 2 games of the series and struck out 4 of the 5.
And with 2 strikes, Dick, that pitch that we just saw from Will Smith down and in, he wants that hitter to go after that one. It's a ball down by the back foot. Melvin Upton Jr. is not biting on that last one.
He got a breaking ball out over the plate. 1-2. Upton, then the top of the order, Amarista and Solarte for the Padres here in the 8th. Anyone gets on, Matt Kemp. San Diego needs 2 to tie. That ball ripped fair past 3rd into the left field corner. Upton on his way to 2nd. And Melvin Jr. is in there with a double. That was a shot past 3rd. Well, the tying run will come to the plate here in the 8th inning.
A good at bat by Melvin Upton Jr. Why? He laid off the strikeout pitch, the wipeout pitch that Will Smith wanted him to swing at. The slider down and in, the breaking ball. He's going to wait. He's going to be patient and rifles that one down the left field line. Potter's got something going here. Dropping the head, keeping it fair.
That was by 3rd baseman Perez before he could react.
He was a step and a dive by the line and still gets it by him.
So leadoff hitter Amarista singled and scored the Padres' first run in the first inning. Came around on a sacrifice fly by Kemp. Derek Norris is in the batter's box now, hitting for Amarista.
Well, at 3rd base, Perez, step and a dive, can't get to it. Stays on his feet. Action for the San Diego Padres. We got action.
Norris takes a strike. 0-2. Well, Upton fell behind 0-2 and doubled.
We've seen some battles with 2 strikes with Derek Norris at the plate on this road trip. Fighting some good pitches off to stay alive and then coming through with big knocks.
Time, no pitch. Padres 3rd best National League and coming from behind and picking off a win. Norris with Upton at 2nd base, leadoff double. There's that breaking ball. He went around, says first base umpire Adam Hamari. What a way. Norris got short change there. Here's Solarte batting right-handed.
Yeah, that was the shorter breaking ball and a nice block by Lucroy.
Solarte, a couple of singles and a fly ball to center, hitting left-handed. Now the longest hitting streak of his career, 11 games in a row. Matt Kemp moves into the on deck circle. And Justin Upton lurks in the hole.
Get back.
Just did get back.
Come on now.
Scooter Gennett ducks in there and made that very close. He had bluffed the pitch before, and for a moment this looked like Kemp wasn't going to make it. Or Melvin Upton wasn't going to make it.
He just got in time there, Dick. Got his hand in the outfield side. Heart skipped a beat right there.
And tag was up on the elbow, and his hand hit the bag just in time. Taking all the way. That's Jan Solarte's pattern. He just doesn't want to swing at the first pitch. He just says, "Let me see what you've got."
Yeah, that almost looked like a hit, like a get me over breaking ball to the switch hitter.
Fouled off the catcher, Lucroy.
Joaquin Benoit up and ready to go in the Padre bullpen.
Solarte hitting over 280 from the left side. From the right side, not so much success, hitting 212. Doesn't get as many chances. Upton with a big lead, and Gennett again. Now he backs off. And a swing and a foul tip, strike three. So after the double by Melvin Upton, pinch hitter Norris strikes out, and now Solarte goes down swinging.
There's another breaking ball, smothered by Lucroy.
And with that strikeout, out comes Craig Counsell, the manager of the Brewers. He's going to go to the bullpen for a right-hander to face Matt Kemp and maybe Justin Upton. So a break in the action here at the 8th inning in Milwaukee. 4-2 Brewers. Came the Brewers. Jonathan Lucroy, after Gennett had singled, hammers a home run, his 4th of the year to make it 2-1. And then up came Shane Peterson, and he rifles one across the first base bag into the right field corner, a 2-run triple. And those are the 4 runs scored by the Brewers tonight. The Padres made it 4-2 as Venable, with a line single, scored Alonso, who had doubled. So 4-2 here in the 8th inning. Leadoff double by pinch hitter Melvin Upton. And now the new pitcher is Jeremy Jeffress. 50th outing.
Yeah, he also pitched last night, 2/3 of an inning for the right-hander. 49 appearances, this being his 50th game. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Average is about 96. He's got a power arm from the right side.
Matt Kemp is the hitter. Starts him with an off-speed curveball.
Yep.
80 miles an hour.
.45 strikeouts in 44 innings for Jeffress.
Challenged him. 95 off the plate inside. 0-2 to Kemp.
Really not the best inherited runner percentage either. He's inherited 24 runners, now chalk it up to 25, but 10 have scored. So an opportunity for San Diego here to possibly get a run.
267 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position for Kemp. And down he goes. So after the double by Upton, Norris, Solarte, and Kemp all go down swinging. The leader of 4K Ultra HD by your San Diego Lexus dealer and by Petco. What we feed them matters. $22,975 at Miller Park tonight. The new pitcher for the Padres, Marcus Mateo, will face Lucroy, Braun, and Lind, with the Brewers hanging on to that 4-2 lead. 4 runs in the first, standing up so far.
Hey, pretty good numbers for Marcos. Look at the strikeouts, the innings pitched. Very few walks with 3. And the one number that jumps out, 171 average against righties.
Well, a golden opportunity goes by the boards for the Padres in the top of the inning with a leadoff double by Upton. They couldn't get him around. Padres have struck out tonight. Lucroy high off first down the right field side. Kemp will watch it fall in the crowd. Lucroy, the 2-run homer in the first inning, grounded out and struck out since. Melvin Upton stays in the game in center. Venable moves to right. And Clint Varmus is the shortstop. So Kemp out of the game, and Amarista out. He was pinch hit for by Derek Norris. A ball and a strike. Off the fist. Little roller to Jerko for the first down. Our game is presented in HD by Sony 4K. Ryan Braun 0 for 3 tonight. First 2 games, Padres got him out only twice. He was on base all 4 times last night with a couple of walks and a couple of hits.
A couple of Padre fans were hoping for a comeback, but it's up to Marcos Mateo to hold him at 4. Can't say enough, Dick, about Ian Kennedy's effort tonight. 7 innings, he struck out 7. He did not issue a free pass. Just that first inning.
Just turned the switch after 4 runs, 5 hits in the first, and allows 2 hits the rest of the way.
You talk about making an adjustment. He did just that.
And 122 pitches in the last 3 men he faced, he struck them out. 0-2 to Braun. High fly ball. He hit that one a long way to center. It's still going, and it's off the top of the wall. Braun into second with a double. He just missed home run number 250 by about 1.5 feet.
You know, when I heard this ball off the bat, we take a look at the slider. It's right down the heart of the plate. It really didn't sound like it had that solid sound to it. And this ball changes direction off the blue padding, below the yellow line.
He flirted with 250. He's only 2 behind the all-time leader Robin Yount's 251 Milwaukee home runs. Brewer home runs. So Adam Lind, he's not going to get to swing the bat. They're going to walk him intentionally. Set up the double play.
And remember, Mateo's been in that bullpen for the Padres, and knowing what Chris Davis has been swinging at. Sure, he has a couple of hits tonight and a run scored, but what's the one pitch that's difficult for him? It's the slider. We saw it since game 1. So we'll see how Marcos Mateo faces Chris Davis after this intentional pass.
So first and second with 1 out here in the 8th.
Hey, as we promised you earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag SD Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Charisma at Crazy Charisma. Thank you very much for your tweet. Was that Mark Sweeney?
I think he's in all the photos.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Sweeney.
Got that nice smile going, that dimple look. So Chris Davis, a single and a double and a fly ball to left. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI single last night. Braun at second, Lind at first, 1 out. That's a strike. 1-1.
See that front side of Chris Davis open up big time, even taking that pitch. That was a slider.
So the Padres last night stayed close 2-1 until the 7th inning, and Brewers got 2 and went away with a 4-1 win. It's 4-2 now, and Mateo trying to hold the Brewers, give the Padres a chance in the 9th. They'll have Upton, Alonso, Jerko scheduled in the top of the 9th, probably to face Franco Rodriguez. Frankie, who got the save last night, he's been perfect this year. 24 out of 24. The 2-1 pitch. Knebel and Rodriguez. If the Brewers should get a couple of runs here, then it will be Knebel. If not, and it's a safe situation, we'll see Rodriguez. High fly. Melvin Upton coasting into left center. And there's 2 away. The National University standings tonight, looking at the NL West, the Dodgers and Giants separated by 2. And presuming they both won tonight, they were ahead late. Padres in Arizona, their game's not complete, will be 9.5 behind if they should both lose, and then Colorado. Shane Peterson. When you look back on that first inning, his triple to knock in 2 runs was very big in this game. It's the difference in the game. Well, it's Logan Schaefer now, but this is the spot where Peterson delivered that triple. Schaefer came in as a defensive replacement in center field. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, it was.
1-1. Seven hits, 37 trips for Schaefer. Two and 1. Mateo posing after that delivery as if he thought it was a strike. Umpires don't take that kindly.
Yeah, I think he got squeezed on that. Marcos Mateo, yeah, he's shown some emotion out there before on a close pitch. Got to forget about that one and go right back there and make a quality pitch.
Three and 1. Two on, 2 out. 2-run lead for Milwaukee. Gene Segura, the shortstop, would be next. Line drive, base hit. Up with it quickly is Upton. Here comes his throw to the plate. It's offline, and everyone moves up 90. It's 5-2. A 189 hitter, Logan Schaefer, extends the lead to 5-2. That's the 3rd RBI out of that spot in the batting order. Peterson with a 2-run triple. Schaefer's 3rd RBI of the season.
Well, Schaefer stays on this breaking ball. Looks like a little cutter or a slider out of the hand of Mateo. An inside outside pitch, and now the race is on. Ed Cedar sends him home. Here's the throw, and Derek Norris thinking about third, but nope. That's a big run from Milwaukee.
The throw was high, so they couldn't cut it off. The runners then move up. Lind winds up at third, and Schaefer to second.
That's why you got to hit the cutoff man in the head. If he chooses to catch it, he can catch it. If he lets it go through, sure, it's got a good chance of possibly getting the runner. We've got to think about that lead runner, that trailing runner being the hitter, now moving up to second base.
Segura 0 for 3 tonight. And the throws of a very deep slump, this young shortstop. 5 for 52. Center field, here comes Upton. Can't make the play. All the way to the wall. 2 more runs score. Here's Segura around second. Heading for third. Here comes the throw into Jerko, and he'll settle at third. So a do-or-die try by Melvin Upton. Can't come up with the ball. 2 more runs for the Brewers, and they've blown it open 7-2.
Another breaking ball. Okay, now here, Melvin Upton charging. He's on the first base side. Let's see, does he try to play it off to the side a little bit? Gets by him. Played off to the side there, and then came up a little bit too soon. And try to keep that ball in front of you on the short hop. That's a tough play. But if it's not going to catch it, at least take one off the kneecap or something in front of you, maybe.
Fly ball to right. Kemp on the run. He has to play it on a hop. Another run scores. It's 8-2. Bloop single by Perez. 4-run 8th inning off Marcus Mateo. That's Venable in right field. Rather, he replace Kemp. Mattered not, as he had no chance on the play.
Boy, off the end of the bat, and the hits are falling in for Milwaukee. I hate to see the wheels come off late.
8th man to bat in the inning. Hector Gomez. Oh, and 2. So after Lucroy grounded out a double Braun off the right field wall, they intentionally walked Lynn. After Davis flied out, 3 straight hits, single, triple, single, and 4 come home. Gomez batting for the first time tonight, the pinch hitter. The 8th man to face Mateo in the inning. Bouncer to third. Solarte on the run. Watch out. He's able to get it into the glove of Alonso, who had to stretch out. But a disastrous inning for the Padres. 4 more for the Brewers. With us, lots of entertainment as Corey Knebel comes in to work the 9th inning. Padres now down 8-2 after that 4-run outburst. 3 of the runs are earned. They've changed. The score is not given Segura a triple, but a single. 2 runs, 2 RBIs for him. But Perez's single came with Segura going to third on the air by Upton, so that run is unearned. Justin Upton singled, lined to third, and struck out.
Well, we saw Knebel on Monday. He pitched the sixth inning, another power arm out of his Milwaukee Brewer bullpen. 1 inning, 3 strikeouts on Monday.
So
you hate to see the wheels come off, Professor Hahn, like that.
So this road trip starting so very well, you know, with taking the series in New York and Miami. That dramatic win in the rain in New York. The home run by Justin Upton. And now they're about to lose 3 out of 4. Jose Valentin interpreting Patrick Murphy's comments to Marcus Mateo.
You know, who knows what that's about, but I can only remember what happened last night. A couple of close calls.
Upton goes the other way through the big hole, a single into right field.
Remember, there were a couple of close calls there, Dick, and the umpire didn't give him the call. Now I can only I'm only guessing, because you know, sometimes a manager or pitching coach will set a pitcher aside and say, hey, you know, you can't let your emotions get the most of you. It's not going to help your cause. Might have been one of the things that they're talking about.
Well, he posed a couple of times there, and the umpires don't like that. I mean, that's the same thing as a hitter backing out and looking at the umpire and complaining. So leadoff hit for Upton brings up Alonso, doubled the last time. So you wipe away the 4 in the first. That's one story. You wipe away another 4 in the 8th inning, and the Padres would have the tying run at the plate. A couple of big 4-run innings for the home side. Upton will take second base. Defensive. Play by the Brewers to not hold him on. So the DI, he moves to second. 1-1 to Alonso. Well, the game tomorrow will have considerable significance then. If Padres need a win, come home with a road trip of 6-4. Anytime you can win on the road, you've done yourself proud, but a loss would be actually a disappointing 5-5, considering they started 4-1. So join us at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning here on Fox Sports San Diego. Despaigne against the veteran Garza. Lifted toward left field, racing over, but watching it go out of play is Davis.
Well, that T-shirt's going way back. Like 1969-ish, 1970.
It looks brand new, doesn't it? Runs, 11 hits for Milwaukee, 2 runs and 8 base hits for San Diego. Alonso with the only extra base hit, along with Melvin Upton, his pinch double, and Alonso a double in the 7th. Two and two. Well, the starter tonight for Milwaukee, Taylor Youngman, was an all-star, all-conference, all-academic, all-regional from the University of Texas, and the man on the mound trying to finish the work, also a Texas Longhorn. They were teammates for a year. 3-2. Fly off the left side. Backing up for it is the third baseman, and Perez has the first out. Well, around the major leagues, Nelson Cruz, he's at it again today. And 2 for 5. 16-game hitting streak, but they lost to the Rockies, the Mariners. Madison Bumgarner, 9 strikeouts. His record's now 12-6 in the 6-1 win against Atlanta. Matt Harvey, a 2-hitter through 7 innings. And the Mets hang on to win against Miami, 8-6.
Mets are on fire, and don't be surprised if the Giants end up coming the last couple months of the season. I'll tell you what, they find some way to make it happen.
Jed Jerko struck out twice and grounded out. Two 2-0. Will Venable on deck. Two and 1. Media guide lists the hobbies of players, and for Corey Knebel, fishing, golfing, cooking, and brewing beer.
Really?
Yeah. Not all at the same time. You can cook and brew beer. Fly ball right field, moves right fielder Braun back for the second out. Upton tags and goes over to third. And the Padres are down to their final out as we check our Bill Howe play of the game. It goes all the way back to the first inning. Jonathan Lucroy giving the Brewers a 2-0 lead. The first 2 batters that Ian Kennedy faced. First time that Bernie Brewers made the slide in the series. So Upton at third with 2 gone, and Venable, who knocked in the second run the last time up with a single to left. Ball 1.
So a couple of bad pitches in the first inning, and the wheels coming off from the bullpen in the 8th there with the 4 spot. Pretty much sums this one up.
1-1.
Up to this point.
Brett Wallace is in the on-deck circle. Will hit for Hedges if Venable can keep it going. Drive to left center field. That may be up the alley. It is all the way to the wall. Upton can walk in. It's 8-3 on a double by Venable. The second RBI tonight. Now, how important the failure of Mateo to get out of the 8th inning. Instead of 4-3, it's 8-3.
Something down. Will throw the head, taking it the opposite way. Had the good sound to it as well.
So Brett Wallace will pinch hit. And he drills one to deep right field. That's way back, and Wallace will touch them all. Second deck. That makes it 8-5. And while it's nice to see Wallace jog around the bases with the home run, it's bittersweet, isn't it? Because it's not 5-4 Padres. It's still 8-5 Brewers. His first pinch hit home run.
Well, you think he was looking first pitch fastball? You bet. Look at the location of this one. Knee high. This ball is crushed. Upper deck, halfway up.
Pitching coach Rick Kravitz out to the mound. That's, again, it just underlines that no matter what the score is, when you go to the bullpen, just hoping, of course, the Padres through the years have been spoiled by such an outstanding pen that just doesn't give up runs, and then you give up a 4, and you take away the opportunity for this 9th inning to be very dramatic in favor of the Padres. Upton, as a pinch hitter, doubled. That was in the 8th inning, but the Padres couldn't get him around as the next 3 men struck out.
That's why you got to take every at bat like it's your last, every inning like it's your last. Defensively, play like it's your last, and the score is tied. Whether it's diving for a ball or keeping the ball in front of you.
Home run by Wallace was his second since being called up from El Paso. And the Padres are down to their final strike. Frankie Rodriguez. The one thing that this has done with the 3 runs in the ninth, get Rodriguez up throwing again. 1-2. Didn't miss by much. Line drive, base hit off Segura's glove. Off the bench, Melvin Upton, a double and a single. And to the top of the order, Alexi Amarista's replacement. And that's Derek Norris.
Okay, well, after the Brett Wallace home run, you clear the bases. Now you start stockpiling again. And with that hit from Melvin Upton Jr., Craig Counsell making the slow stroll out to the pitcher's mound.
He's not going to wait for the Padres to get that tying run to the plate. He's going to go to Frank Rodriguez right now. It's a save situation. So 3 runs and 4 hits for the Padres in the ninth. It's 8-5. Trying to come back, but a mighty high mountain to climb, trailing 8-2, but they get 3 back. And Upton now with a single. It's 8-5, and Frank Rodriguez, who saved the game last night, 1-2-3 ninth inning, his 24th of the season. Perfect. All save opportunities. He's closed the door.
A lot of change-ups out of the hand of Francisco Rodriguez. The strikeouts are up more than innings pitched, and look at those splits. Lefties 164, righties 154.
Norris struck out in the 8th inning as a pinch hitter. Upton at first. They're not holding him on, so he'll be able to walk to second base on this first pitch. And there he goes. Ball 1. Defensive indifference.
And as Dick mentioned last time before break, when Counsell was going out there with the tying run on deck, this is a safe situation for Rodriguez.
Padres need another base runner to bring the tying run to the plate here in the ninth. Solarte on deck. 1-1.
His fastball is only about 90. I mean, he's consistent about 89-ish. Touch 191 once in a while, and he gets a call.
Two outs in the ninth. 3 runs home for the Padres. 8-5 Milwaukee. 1-2. And no doubt about that. It's a strike right down the middle. 22,975 here at Miller Park on their feet. Save number 25. Norris caught looking. Ball game over. The Brewers outscore the Padres the final 8-5. And we go to Mike Pomerantz.